Hello everybody, I'm Jessica and welcome back to RWBY Ice Queendom, episode 12, if I'm not mistaken. Indeed I am not. Episode 12, the finale of the series, although it very much felt like the previous episode was the finale. Right? Because we solved all of the problems that we had in the previous episode. Weiss woke up, Blake woke up, everybody's alive, everybody's awake, everybody's happy. We even got a little bit of shenanigans after the whole waking. We got a few laughs, we got a few interactions with them, so honestly, to me, it feels like episode 12 isn't really needed, even. Then again, from what I heard, the plans for this series, the script was mostly written around like 8 episodes, was what they needed. But of course, the single core of an anime season is 12, so they had to stretch it somewhat. So perhaps today's episode will be more of an OVA, more of a special, more of an episode 13 kind of a deal. Although some anime don't even make episode 13 into a light-hearted OVA anymore, they just make it the proper season finale. So I'm assuming episode 12 will be more of an OVA, or perhaps a hook into a sequel, or a hook back into the main series. Because from what I heard, the title of today's episode, the title of episode 12, is the same as the title of the first episode of the second season of the main series of RWBY. So I can assume what they did is they followed the main timeline from this side. Yeah, they followed the main timeline of RWBY. Then that was the first 3 episodes. Then they diverged into Ice Queendom, and now they are jumping back into the RWBY proper timeline with this episode. Maybe it will just be the exact same as the first episode of the second season of the main series. Maybe it will be a reimagining of it. Maybe it's gonna be something completely different. I don't know. I don't know if there are plans for any more of the RWBY anime, like anime made by Shaft and not by Rooster Teeth, with like 2D, mostly 2D instead of CG. I don't know. If there are plans, then today's episode will be the perfect occasion to show us a hook for the future. Maybe not a cliffhanger, but something that shows us that there is more to be had, there is more to be seen. If not, then it will probably be a hook into the main series. Now, to get it out of the way, I mentioned it multiple times, I will be watching the main series of RWBY. I don't know when exactly. We're gonna be finishing up this season fairly soon. Some of the series like RWBY is gonna be ending today. Some of the series are gonna be ending next week. I think we have like 2 more weeks when I'm actually gonna have some content to show you. Then we're gonna have a little bit of a break, and the new season starts. Starting the new season, I'm gonna be watching movies of Madoka Magica, probably the other seasons, the spin-offs, or whatever you want to call them. The next season of Symphogear, so the non-seasonal slots will be taken, but as soon as a non-seasonal slot frees up, you can be sure I'm gonna watch RWBY. Unless the seasonals in this upcoming season are gonna be just simply this shit that I'm not gonna have anything to watch, so I'm gonna slot in RWBY somewhere instead of a seasonal anime. But yeah, all of that remains to be seen. Subscribe, click the bell so we get notified when we go over the seasonal anime in the near future, and I'm gonna be picking and choosing what to watch. But yeah, RWBY, definitely gonna watch it sooner or later. Right, with that out of the way, I think we can just start watching this one. I genuinely have no clue what to expect of this episode. For me, Ice Queendom ended on episode 11. This episode is just an OVA to me, honestly. So, subs, because you're gonna need them to sync up your own copy of episode 12, sound, because I wanna hear it, and support. Already told you that you can subscribe to get notified, but you can also support me monetarily on Patreon or Throne, links in the description. You can get early access to non-seasonals, like in the future RWBY, currently Madoka Magica, and Symphogear. And if you don't want to spend any money, sharing my content is a great way to support the channel. And with that out of the way, we can finally start watching episode 12 of RWBY Ice Queendom in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, sorry. Full start. 3, 2, 1, go. Where's the fan CG? Oh look, she's smiling, and she's reading a romance, and she's playing gacha on her phone. And RWBY has her own tent. Winter? That's a name and a half. And she's reading romance. And of course, Yang would be the one to show everybody the memes she found on Facebook. Oh, they're playing a match. Okay, so she's full on calling them friends now. I'm learning all sorts of things. See, that's a curious thing that I always have to wonder about when it comes to like magic academies. Do they learn math, geography, chemistry? Please do. Like, genuinely. Spit and shake. I guess they decided to skip the spitting part. What's gonna be Team RWBY's motto? Exactly. Let's communicate? Is this episode gonna be just a bunch of vignettes from their school life? That's a cool visual. Weiss? Weiss. Best day ever. Oh, she's still here. Not for long, though. That's a pity. I guess she has more nightmares to hunt. But it evolved? Okay, so semblances can evolve. Cool. Cool. That's like genuinely great detail. Jean doesn't have a strong aura though. Cool. I like it. What the fuck happened to his face though? Can't you stay as a teacher or something? I really do like you. And off she goes. That was a very shaft turnaround. That was a very Shaft turnaround. I'm sometimes forgetting that Shaft makes this, but moments like this remind me of that. That's a cool office. 5 points for Gryffindor. That's the spirit. Shadow on his face. Shadow on everything. Hey, her white light thing. I mean, I guess. The power of friendship. Honestly, it would be great if in the English dub she was voiced by Tara Strong. No, who voices Twilight Sparkle in My Little Pony? That would be so fitting. He was asking about the white light, but sure. She's also getting some praise. Those gears have no right of working. So is she hiding the fact that she's former White Fang? Probably. Human. Faunus. I mean, it's not humanly possible that she would have her ears there. She's not hiding anything. She can't be. That's not where ears are. Okay, so like liaison between Faunus and humans is what he wants to make of her, kinda, or an example of a friendship between humans and Faunus. So, she's hiding things. Of course she is. It's gonna take some time for her to open up. Probably only when shit hits the fan, honestly. They're waiting. Oh, just Weiss. Okay. Probably some member of the White Fang is gonna recognize her and is gonna out her as a former White Fang, and it's gonna stir up a lot of shit show. And that's how it's gonna go, because she won't say anything, which is understandable, right? But I can already see the issues stemming from that. Then you should have no trouble talking about you being former White Fang. Former being the keyword here. I know this melody. Is that the OP or the ED? I think it's the OP. Okay, so it is essentially an epilogue. True, almost forgot about that detail. She is a fair bit younger than everybody else here. I mean, they're already friends with the entirety of Team Juniper, with their own team. That's plenty of friends, if you ask me. Hello, Sun. Sun. Okay, Sun. That works. Weren't they supposed to invite Team Juniper as well? Who might those friends be? I mean, she did have a change of heart inside of the nightmare, so shouldn't be that surprising. Probably less of a deal than her suddenly being outed by the White Fang, but we have to have some drama in the future. Are they also becoming hunters? Since Beacon is the name of the academy, or is the entire town named Beacon? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. That's the spirit. And of course, everybody bursts out laughing. And there's more and more cats on that table as time goes on. The number of cats increases with every shot. That's a transparent screen, Ruby. What are you showing us? Okay, training with Pyrrha. Probably. I mean, you can leave them training and the two of you can go to the cafe. Perseverance? Possibly. Not Pyrrha? I would have assumed Pyrrha is the strongest of Team Juniper. But maybe it really is him. She's drawing a dojin. Yeah, she's working on a dojin. It's not her that played with it, someone else threw it. Oh, that's a stack of papers. Best day ever activities. Sisters, friends, and Weiss. Okay. So we're using the last day of vacation. Food fight! Great movie, by the way. Highly recommend watching Food Fight. Oh. Well, someone doesn't have the greatest aim. Food fight? Food fight indeed. That, I mean, you can kill someone with an apple. Okay, Juniper versus Ruby. Food fight. A table fort, of course. Vending machines, where the fuck did they get vending machines from? Okay. Chicken gauntlets, why not? Baguette swords? What's gonna be a scythe? Okay. Sword with sword? Watermelon hammer? uh... Right, she can use the semblance. That goes way beyond the food fight. Yeah, someone's gonna die soon if this continues. Yeah, maybe don't throw a can at a person. That can actually hurt. Although they have their auras, so I guess not that much of an issue. Like having fun with friends. Her sword broken. Okay, that's a nice visual. That's it? Seems to be. Okay. This episode was very much to my expectations. Essentially an OVA. I don't mind it, honestly. Was it necessary to have it? Probably not. Do I mind it existing? No. Did I like it? Yeah. So... yeah, just an OVA, essentially. Wasn't necessary, but its existence doesn't have any negative impact on the series as a whole, so I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm also glad that we were able to see something outside of the nightmare for the first time since episode 3. Although kind of odd to see it being the vacations already. We kind of skipped an entire year, or entire semester at least. That time skip feels kind of iffy, but it's an OVA. It doesn't matter ultimately. In loving memory, right, of Monty Ohm. And the last piece of art. That's cool. Nothing after credits? Nothing after credits. Okay. Okay. I feel like sneezing. But it doesn't want to come. Shit. Okay. Let's watch it again. Shall we? I mean, not like there's particularly much to talk about here. No, like, lore details, no particular changes, nothing particularly significant to this episode. But sure, let's go through it again. One thing I noticed that feels kind of weird is that RWBY has her own tent. Feels very much like she's separating herself from the rest of them. Right, like we see a scene of Yang reaching down to Blake to, I don't know, show her some memes or invite her to a match in a fighting game or whatever was she doing. Right, they can interact. Yang Weiss can look at Blake. Blake can look at Weiss. Right, there is some the feeling of existing in the same space, essentially. I would think that RWBY would be the one to like make everything an open space to increase their feelings of like camaraderie, of maybe even lining up the beds one next to the other so they sleep in the same bed essentially, or those kinds of ideas. It seems weird to me that she made her own tent and seems very standoffish to me. Very, very much not like RWBY. Perhaps it has a better explanation in the original show. Maybe, I don't know, she's used to camping and she feels the best when she's in a tent, so she built herself a tent, or I don't know, any sort of other thing. Maybe as she grows as a person, she eventually takes off those drapes and just has an open bed like everybody else. Maybe it's a part of her growth or something. I don't know. Seems kind of odd that she would be shutting herself off. Of course, Blake would be the one to read some ninja romance novels. Is it novels? Is it manga? I don't know. Probably novels. Yeah, writing letters to Winter. And yeah, can I recognize any of the words on the back? I don't think I can. Sorry, I'm really coming down with something. My nose is all stuffy. Yeah, okay. It's probably smut. Let's be honest here. Maybe even yaoi shit. I don't know. Blake being a whatchamacallit, fujoshi. Does it fit? Kinda, sorta, maybe. I don't know. Weiss writing a letter to her sister. I wonder where her sister is in all of that. Yeah, see, they can interact because their beds are open, their spaces are open. They can have fun, invite each other to play a game or something, and RWBY is just shut in her own place. Or maybe she's having trouble falling asleep when it's light, when it's bright. That's why she also has the eye mask. I don't know. And yeah, I'm not a leader, but I can support the team and be the ideal teammate. And they're playing some honestly garbage looking game. Jesus. That doesn't look good. Yeah, one thing I do like is technology in this world. How it actually feels modern-ish. There's many, even anime. One example that I can think of is Tokyo 24-ku, that is set sometime in the future, like super sci-fi and everything. And the laptops they were using there were like extremely bulky with tiny little screens, like something you'd see. There are those like work laptops that you can take on, I don't know, a building site or to a quarry or something. Like the foreman has to have a laptop, so it's all rugged. The case is titanium, big keys, small screen, everything secured and shockproof and waterproof and whatnot, right? And they had laptops like that. Meanwhile, technology goes in the complete opposite direction, right? Everything is sleek, everything is smooth. Smartphones are slowly but surely going the route to just being a black cube, a black slate with no buttons, no ports. I heard Apple is planning to remove any sort of ports from their iPhone so that you can only have wireless connection and wireless charging. Wouldn't surprise me. We have eSIM now, so that you don't need a SIM tray. We are removing headphone jacks. We're removing physical touch, like fingerprint sensors. They're under screen now. Cameras are now embedded under screen. Everything goes for smooth and sleek and uniform look. And I like that in RWBY, it seems like it kind of follows those design principles. Their phones, I'm assuming they like fold and unfold. That's like the dream. We have like Z Fold, Z Fold Plus, Z Flip, flip phones, phones that open up. One of the like Chinese manufacturers created a phone that you can slide out for a bigger screen, and that's essentially it. So I like that the futuristic technology of the world of RWBY makes sense. It's not retro-futuristic, it's futuristic. Another example I often give is Mass Effect. It's supposed to be like 30 billion trillion years into the future, and they're having garbage monochromatic flickering displays on their ships, and like, we're working on motherfucking QLEDs now. Why would you have a monochromatic orange flickering display? Why would you settle for that? Right? I like that technology in RWBY actually looks believable. Except those games, like Jesus fuck. That looks like VeggieTales. That just straight up looks like VeggieTales. And yeah, RWBY's a reliable leader. Is it actually? Yeah, it's actually English. It's actually written what she said. My dear sister Winter. Yeah. Cool. I thought I just have to practice weapon making and fighting, but to become a huntress, I'm learning all sorts of things that I never thought about. Too bad we don't see you learning those things. I was kind of hoping we're gonna get some. Maybe in the RWBY proper, I don't know. There are actually some episodes of them learning, going to a class, learning elixirs and defense from dark magic and oneiromancy and shit like that. I know I'm kind of comparing it to Harry Potter, but it's like true for every single. I mean, that's kind of different thing. Yeah, I was hoping that they're actually gonna learn something. But what I wanted to say about comparing to Harry Potter and that it's a thing in all of the Magic Academy sort of stories is they just learn the cool stuff and never learn anything mundane. Like they learn potions and flying broom and defeating basilisks and whatnot, and they're all probably not dyslexic. Dyslexia is an illness. Well, illness. It's a thing. It's not something you can suffer. They're all probably. I mean, they're probably illiterate. Is what I wanted to say. Not dyslexic, illiterate, because they never learned like writing and reading because they were sent to a magic school and taught magic shit and not taught grammar and orthography and math. And I don't know. It always seems kind of iffy to me when they learn everything from the age of like 6, except the things that they actually needed to learn to be like functional human beings. I don't know. Kind of a rant, kind of a thing there. I'm gonna leave it. You're the one who ran away. Yeah, please come and talk to us when something happens. Oh yeah. Shake hands, everybody feels better. From now on, let's communicate and try to understand each other. I have to like go back to Tokyo 24 Coup because the whole deal with communication, Like, I recommend you watch Tokyo 24-ku. It's a cool show overall, but my biggest gripe with it is the absolute lack of communication. There's like three, give or take, three super tragic moments in Tokyo 24-ku that could have been solved in their entirety by one dude talking to another, telling them, hey, I found something. And the other dude is like, oh, cool, then I'm gonna hold off with my plan. And everybody's happy, right? That kind of situations. I'm glad that they explicitly say, let's communicate and try to understand each other. Because the characters in Tokyo 24-ku were supposed to work as a team, but they just fucking refused to talk. I'm glad this is going in the direction of communication. In general, I fucking hate when issues stem from the lack of communication. Like, sure, sometimes in real life that also causes issues, but like every normal human being tries to communicate with other normal human beings. It's like the default state, kind of, sorta. Even if you're like completely a loner, then if something's wrong, then you would tell someone about it, right? Some sort of a communication. If you have an issue with someone, you would tell them that. What I'm trying to say, I'm glad we're not going for any misunderstanding shenanigans where everybody's hiding something from the rest of the team and it comes to bite them in the ass later. No, everything's in the open. Everybody knows about everybody. We're sharing our, maybe not secrets, but we're sharing our issues. We're understanding each other. We're communicating. We're making a team. Thank you. That's how we make a team. Communication. The mysteries of human heart. This is a very cool visual. Yeah, milk, 3 cubes of sugar. I'm sad that Shion departs. I really did enjoy her as a character, but I know that she's not there in the like RWBY proper, so it would be weird having her stay if we're supposed to like pick it up from here and go watch RWBY the main series, and Shion being here and not being in the main series would be a dissonance. So I understand why she has to depart, and she also has a great explanation, right? She has to hunt the nightmares. There's no nightmare here, so she has no reason to stay. But I kind of wish that she would become a teacher here. Also, I love the meme picture in the left corner of the Ouija board, or whatever it is. Cool little Easter egg. It's finally I'm able to understand that. Once I encountered the nightmare grim, my semblance grew in unanticipated ways. I like it. I like that semblance can grow, that semblance can evolve. Because it seemed to me like at the beginning that RWBY having a semblance was something kinda extraordinary. At her age, at her skill level, having a semblance that's like weird and unusual. And Jean doesn't have a semblance. I think some other characters also don't have their semblance. Not entirely positive on that. But although no, Yang has her semblance. Blake has hers. Weiss, I don't know. But yeah, I was under the impression that having a semblance is something special. Essentially makes you the chosen one, quote unquote. But even if it's not the case, but even if that was the case, then the fact that semblances can evolve and grow, that still leaves us room for growth. Because when you introduce a character that's like completely decked out, knows every sort of magic, is proficient at every sort of weapon, what growth can they have? But when the super cool ultimate magic they have can grow and evolve and expand, you suddenly don't have that problem. And even if RWBY was special for having a semblance, then the fact that it can evolve, it can grow, leaves RWBY room to grow. I like it. I really do like it. And I'm left wondering in what ways will RWBY's semblance grow. right? Shion's semblance grew from being able to read someone's heart to being able to send people into someone's heart, more or less. So Ruby's semblance is iframes and a dodge, essentially. So I wonder how that's gonna evolve. Or is her evolved semblance the white light? Or is that something else entirely? Is it like her super special power? I don't know. We don't know that yet. Semblances will develop together with your auras. Yeah. She's shit talking Jean a lot, isn't she? And yeah, we're having a little talk. She shows a spirit, right? I don't quite understand why you chose me to be a leader, but you did choose me to be a leader, so I'm gonna do the best job I can at being a leader. Thumbs up. And yeah, power unlike an aura or a semblance. I'm assuming he knows what's the deal. I think it was even shown when she was sleeping that there was some light seeping in from underneath her mask, so he probably knows. What exactly is that? I don't know. It's not an aura, it's not a semblance, that's important. So it's probably not like, I don't know, the evolution of her semblance, it's something else entirely. And yeah, if the viewer forgot, here it is, her using that power. Interesting that she forgot about it. But yeah, instead she discovered another power, the power of friendship. I used to wonder what friendship could, My Little Pony, until you have shared its magic with me. Great adventure, time for fun. Something along those lines. It's been ages since I've seen My Little Pony, but I genuinely see Ruby's English voice being okay. I'm gonna have to check it. Who voiced Twilight Sparkle? I think it was Tara Strong. Twilight Sparkle. She's voiced by Tara Strong. I was correct. She's voiced by Tara Strong. I would lose my shit if Ruby was voiced by Tara Strong in the dub. But yeah, she's probably voiced by the original voice actress, who I don't know who that is. If that's Tara Strong, I'm gonna double lose my shit. Yeah, you can become an outstanding huntress. Suspicions regarding Blake. Suspicions. I think that Ozpin like fully knows what's up. He knows what's up with Ruby's powers. He knows that Blake is White Fang, or at least has a strong suspicion, but he doesn't want to accuse them, right? He doesn't want to accuse Blake of being a White Fang because she will completely shut down if he does that. He'd rather wait so that she comes clean with the fact that she's former White Fang. I'm assuming that's the deal here. Many people are working daily to bridge that divide, and I'd like to ask you for your assistance in bridging that gap, but she doesn't wanna. That's valid. Yeah, there's nothing else. No, nothing else. Okay, sure. Thank you for your time. I'll surely be expelled. Probably not. But I understand why Blake isn't trusting. I fully understand that, like, White Fang is persecuted for a good reason, let's be honest here. But through White Fang, the Faunus are persecuted in the first place. Or maybe not persecuted, but they are being given some stinky eye a little bit. So the fact that she's a Faunus is already grounds for people treating her differently. If she revealed that she's also White Fang, then she thinks that that would be even bigger of a deal, possibly leading to her expulsion. No, genuinely no wonder. I fully understand her, but I kind of wish that she was open with about that with Ozpin. But again, she didn't know him for a particularly long time. She doesn't have the trust quite yet. I have no intention to turning a blind eye towards the company dark side. I wonder if we're gonna have an arc where Weiss sets off to fix the company. I wonder. Someday I will help make this world a better place. And yeah, of course, she's embarrassed. I like this little bit of gap moe to her. In one moment, she's like super stern and cold and matter of fact and very like, I will make up for the sins of my ancestors kind of deal. And the next moment, she's grabbing her eyes like, no, don't remind me of the embarrassing moment. I like it. I do like her duality. Banana pancakes. So gloomy when you first came to Beacon. Yeah, is Beacon the city or is Beacon the academy? Or is it both? Is the academy just named after the city? The city of Beacon, and in the city of Beacon, there is a Beacon Academy. I was kind of hoping that Penny is gonna join us, but apparently it's just Sun, sorry. And yeah, Weiss isn't like particularly prejudiced against the Faunus. Maybe she used to be, but she's not anymore. Although even before she was mostly just prejudiced against the White Fang, I have a feeling. It was never about Faunus, it was about the White Fang, which is, again, understandable. I like this little bit here. I think I might have mentioned it before, that even if two people in this show have completely clashing opinions, have completely clashing like outlook on the world, on the state of everything, completely clashing personalities and whatnot, then both of them usually both of their stances are perfectly understandable for most of the time. And I have to delete some videos because some of the old videos because I see my disk space is running low and I would very much hate for this recording to get corrupted. Okay. And yeah, Blake is a Faunus and former White Fang, and you can talk about it. And Sun wouldn't because he's a friend. He wouldn't talk about it in the first place. Even to friends. Also, very nice little symbolic shot of Weiss's weapon and Blake's weapon being next to each other. That's cool. I like it. And yeah, Jean is training. And of course, everybody burst out laughing, except Blake, because she's Blake. Because that's how she is. Yeah, she's not used to it, because I spent a lot of time alone, did she, though? She was with the White Fang, but I'm assuming there wasn't much camaraderie with the White Fang. It was mostly just, you attack the train, you kill the conductor, you do this, you do that. Go, 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 go. Not really any friendships to be formed. Maybe, I'm not sure. Also, I like the detail of an increasing number of cats on the stable. That's cool. Jean's training. Sometimes I want to go out and play like Team RWBY. I mean, nobody stops you. It's not like teams are joined at the hip. They can go out individually. Nothing stops her from joining Team RWBY at the cafe. So instead of just sitting here and getting bored of her ass, she should just go to the cafe. He's so weak, but still says he's going to protect us. Yeah, she's doing a lot of shit talking. On one hand, I kinda enjoy the banter. On the other, I wonder if that's gonna cause issues for Team JNPR. Her not fully trusting Jean, not fully believing in him, is that gonna cause some issues? I have a sneaking suspicion it might. Yeah, she's glad she's on the same team with the green dude at least. That's a cool cut. What's she drawing there? Can I get a better look at it? Oh, maybe maybe it's not a doujin, a novel with some illustrations. Probably some smut is concerned because there's a rose in the bottom right corner, and you don't put roses in novels and doujins that don't have smut elements in them. And some shenanigans, of course. Vital festival activities property of Weiss Schnee, just RWBY doesn't give a fuck, just crossed it out. Best day ever activities instead. And we're gonna have a best day ever. Meanwhile, that best day ever turned into just a food fight. Some faces are very much still wonky. I do like some of the action here, though. Yeah, some of the shots are genuinely cool, and some action sequences are genuinely like imaginative. Using leeks as throwing weapons, cool. Using a watermelon and a broomstick as a hammer, cool. Using fucking rotisserie chicken as gauntlets, though. That's the highlight of this episode, genuinely. Yang using rotisserie chicken as gauntlets. And she's using a baguette as a spear. She's using baguettes as swords. Yeah, like, this makes sense. This makes sense, but who the fuck has a marlin at the school cafeteria? I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. Where the fuck is he pulling those leaks out of? From his back, apparently. From his ass. I love the absolute madness of this scene. I genuinely do love it. Surfing on a food tray, using her semblance. There are leaks embedded in the floor. Jesus Christ, like, that goes way past the food fight. People can die. Some of the food isn't to scale. Like, that burger and those fries are almost as big as the pizza. Whatever. So stay vigilant, guardians of the light, but take heed that there will be no victory in strength, but in something else, in fun, in heart, in friendship. That's where the win is. Why did she, like, shower everybody in carbonated water or something? I don't know, but it's cool, and it gave us this scene, which is, like, genuinely looks great. I genuinely do like it. I'm gonna screenshot it. And that's it. Very much felt like an OVA, but I don't mind it in the slightest. And yeah, in loving memory of Monty Aum. And the last piece of art. Everybody happy, shenanigans abound. That's it. That was RWBY the Ice Queendom. I accidentally stopped the recording instead of switching the scene. Yeah, that was RWBY Ice Queendom. What can I say? I think I said everything that needed to be said about this episode. Very much an OVA, unnecessary but not unwelcome. About the series proper, I see the heart in it, for sure. I see the work put in the characters and the stories. I see what they were trying to go for here. A little bit of grabbing the attention of new viewers, a little bit of appeasing the fans. Maybe not appeasing, but like winking to the fans that, oh, this is the moment. You remember that, don't you? And we're referencing that shamelessly. I like that. The substance, I have no qualms about it. Absolutely none. The presentation is what I do have qualms about. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, this series suffered a lot. It suffered from pacing issues. It suffered from repetition. It suffered from art issues. Like, let's be honest here, majority of art in this series is wonky at best and kind of garbage at worst. CG quality, when it's robots, it's okay, whatever. When it's just randomly the members of the Team RWBY turned CG, it doesn't work. Wonky faces, every single scene has a different art style. Nothing is consistent. Nothing sticks to like character sheets. You could take two random frames from an episode and they would look like drawn by two different artists, which they probably were, with those artists not being able to communicate with one another because of, I'm assuming, and so I heard, COVID. So sure, there is an explanation, right? They were suddenly thrown into a world of remote work, of not being able to visit the office. It's an explanation, but not an excuse, though, because the quality of the art is just inexcusable, honestly. Many other anime were also made during the pandemic period, and none of them had this much issues. Like, genuinely, none of them. I cannot recall an anime in my memory that would look this bad at times. Now, sure, it had its moments. Some scenes, some shots, some cuts were genuinely good. Some of the action was great, extremely imaginative, and I loved every single second. The episode 11, action in that episode was amazing, and I loved it. But then you have episode 10, that was just running around the checkerboard, and that's just bad. Like, objectively bad. Some shots were cool and great, and they looked amazing, they looked beautiful. But then you had wonky faces, and the immersion just kind of snaps and disappears. Some combat, again, as I said, like episode 11, looked great, but sometimes completely out of nowhere they would use CG models for no reason at all, completely unnecessarily, but they would do that because, I don't know. The music, I don't mind the music. It's not an OST that I would download and listen on repeat, but nothing particularly bad. And some of the tracks will definitely stick around with me. The OP, the music for the OP, I genuinely did enjoy it. It was a nice bit of a song, and I can still play it back in my head because it was memorable enough. Unfortunately, again, is the visuals that fail, because the opening is just scenes from the first 3 episodes with a filter on them, and that's just lazy. I have no other term to use it but lazy, genuinely. Um, One more issue that I mentioned is repetition and pacing at times. With the first 3 episodes, I was led to believe that we're gonna set off on a bunch of adventures and it's gonna be fun. And this world is so rich, so incredibly vast. There's so many different types of Grim. Some fight in physical ways, some take over your body. Like, there's a lot to explore there. And then we spent like 8 episodes inside of a dream, reliving the same scenario over and over and over and over and over again. Overstayed its welcome. I'm gonna be honest with you. First time that the team failed at waking up Weiss, cool. I understand that. Second time they failed, okay, they learned something. Third time's the charm. Third time they failed. That started to be kind of iffy. Fourth time, they won. Was it fourth or was it the fifth time they tried it? I think it was the fourth. I would have removed one iteration from that. I would have gone for 3 times the charm, genuinely. Also, some of the pacing issues. The first 3 episodes were just light speed. Everything happening at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once, particularly episode 3. And then in the rest, you had scenes of just train, 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 different shot, train, train, train. Or the amazing shot of the tire. Just the tire. And I think it's because of the decision that the suits somewhere above made that we can't close it with 8 episodes or with 10 episodes or with however many they would have needed, they would have wanted. We must have 12. And so they try to stretch it. I kinda wish, I kinda hope that someone might make like a recut version of it, cut out the useless bits and maybe shuffle some things around to create a more better digestible version, like they sometimes do with super long movies. But then again, I find myself asking, is anybody gonna care enough? Right? I don't know what the general reception is of this anime, of this series, but is anybody gonna care? Is it gonna be just completely forgettable? Something cool that RWBY fans got, and cool that it exists, but we're gonna go back to waiting for the next season of the main series now? Or is it something that's actually gonna have some staying power? I hope it does have some staying power. I hope we see more of that. Perhaps other stories told with this sort of a medium. Perhaps a remake, quote unquote, of the main series of RWBY, but in this style, in the anime style, not CG. Maybe I'm just spitballing here completely. I know that Shaft often does the thing where they release utter garbage on TV and then they fix it for the Blu-ray. I'm gonna be waiting for the Blu-ray version, and I'm gonna be waiting for a word from you guys. Is the Blu-ray worth watching? Does it actually fix the art? Does it actually improve the viewing experience? If so, then I'm gonna watch it in my spare time, and I'm gonna update you with my newfound opinion of RWBY Ice Queendom, how it should have been done. Because this is a rush job, like there's no doubt about it. Not the writing, not the characters; those are great again, but from the visual standpoint, it's a rush job. I wonder what it would be if it wasn't a rush job, if they genuinely had the time to and the the time and the conditions to finish it properly. And I hope the Blu-ray release is just that. What else? I don't think I have anything more to say about it, honestly. I did enjoy it for what it's worth. The art, not great, but the stories and the characters in particular, great. I liked pretty much everybody. There wasn't a person that I would dislike or that I would not care about. Uh, right now, I probably care the least about Yang because she seems to be the most well adjusted, so I don't have to care about her. Ruby, Weiss, and Blake all have their own issues, so they are a little bit more vibrant, a little more interesting than Yang. Yang is the normal one in their team, so to speak. Team JNPR, I like pretty much everybody from Team JNPR as well. All the side characters, the teacher lady, the principal, Shion in particular. I love Shion. I love Penny. I like Sun. Characters are great. Story could have done with better pacing and less repetition, but overall, cool. I did enjoy that very much so. It's just the art that was just bad at times. But I hope again the Blu-ray version fixes that. My overall rating, would I recommend watching it? I would. Whether you're a RWBY fan or not, it's a nice watch. Unless you have super high expectations and super high you're allergic to garbage CG and you're allergic to bad art, then maybe don't. But if you don't mind watching something of pretty poor quality, but for some great characters and some decent writing, RWBY is here. Kind of like season 3 of Overlord and season 2 of Overlord. CG was garbage tier, but the stories and the characters made it all well worth watching. I'm having the same feeling when it comes to RWBY. And I seem to be losing my voice. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I kind of wanted to talk more about it, but there isn't anything more to talk here. I'm gonna be watching the main series, as I already mentioned. I don't know when, but I will be watching it for sure. It's a guarantee. You can be sure of that. And right now, I think that's all I have to say about it. Maybe one more thing. Did this series make me consider watching RWBY proper? Yes, it did. It did succeed as an ad for the main series, for sure. It brought in a new viewer to the main series, so it succeeded in, I'm assuming at least partially, what was the reason for its existence. Kind of like some anime are an ad for the game or for the manga or for the light novel. This is kind of an ad for the Rooster Teeth RWBY, the original series, so it succeeded in doing that, I guess. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it, but maybe you guys have something to add, have something to say. If so, do that in the comments below. Don't spoil me the main series because I'm gonna be watching it. If you do want to talk spoilers, Discord here, also in the description. You can join it. There's a RWBY channel. You can talk spoilers there with spoiler tags and all that. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of no longer RWBY Ice Queendom, but something else entirely, but Overlord Season 4, Madoka Magica, Sympho Gear, Hataraku Mao-sama Season 2, and Yofka Shinouta, and whatever else comes in the future. You can support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or Throne, links in the description. On Patreon for $10 a month to get access to non-seasonal shows early, 1 week early, like Madoka Magica, Symphogear, and whatever comes next. For just $1, you get a role on the Discord, and you also get a place in the credits. On Throne, you can pitch in towards my purchase of some proper camera, better lighting, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money, sharing my content is an amazing way to support the channel. So share my content, spread the word. It really does help a lot. And with that out of the way, we can finish this season, this show, this series of RWBY Ice Queendom. So that's gonna be it from me for today. And as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one, whatever it might be. Cheers. And here's the supporters on Patreon. You can be one of them, if only you so desire.